Nangangati na naman ang itlog ko, nangangati na naman ang itlog ko, ka. Nangangati na naman ang itlog ko, nangangati na naman ang itlog ko, ka.
What's up YouTube? It's your boy Dashing and this is week 4 of the SCD. I am the coach of Team Kati Itlog and this week we take on Johan and the Suriname Seismitoads. Now before we get started, I wanted to make an announcement that actually last week I made some trades from our team, and I think it was because our weakness to certain common types are really glaring. So I traded out a G-Max Lapras for G-Max Cinderace and Mesprit for Hydreigon. So I think this was a really good move on my end. We lose another electric weakness, gain an electric resist. We also gain a fire type, which is another fairy resist, as well as fire resist as well. So from a typing perspective, it's definitely a lot better. And we actually have some offensive Maxmons this time, rather than the typical defensive ones in Lapras and Mesprit. Now the reason also why I did this was because as good as G-Max Lapras is, we don't really have mons that can take advantage of the screen turns. Like we have Reuni and Reggie that could be very threatening when they set up. But the thing is, they are very vulnerable to moves such as Taunt or Encore. Moves like that, since they are relatively slow, so they're definitely more vulnerable than, you know, if we had like a fast mon that had SD or something like that. Then I could see the use for screens from Lapras, but without it, it's really just hard to take advantage of with our team. Like Mianxiao could possibly put it to work, but you know, even behind screens, it can't really reliably take a hit from, you know, a mon if it's like choice lock, band or specs. So you know, you don't want to risk a mon that's already under screens with one of those. So we definitely felt like it was a necessary trade. Now his team consists of G-Max Lax, D-Max Noivern, Mew, Grimmsnarl, Silvally, that's Silvally any type, Togekiss, Seismitoad, Spiritomb, Regirock, Lurantis, Liepard, Bolton. So on paper, Johan's team appears less threatening than last week. And it's interesting, he has a fast and a slow Maxmon on his team. I'm definitely thinking that Lax is gonna come over the Noivern. Just because even though we do have a lot of mons that can take or that can beat it with like fighting moves, it's just so bulky with let's say a Belly Drum Citrus Berry into Maxmon that could like literally take, I don't know, two or around two fighting moves that are, you know, really strong already. So it could definitely get 2 or 3 kills at a minimum, and since it's, you know, attacking with Belly Drum, then even resisted hits are gonna be doing damage. Not to mention, we're probably gonna be using Reggie to check a lot of his other mons, so we can't really count on it, especially if he has like Darkest Lariat or EQ, then it's not even gonna matter. If you look at my team, EQ hits everything, so that would be a safe play if that's the case, you know. Other mons he has, well, you know, Mew can literally run anything. Grimmsnarl screens, Togekiss, one of the best tier 3 mons in the format, could be Cleric or Scarf sets. Surprisingly, when I was prepping for the game, Bolton actually does really good versus my team. Like, I don't really have a good switch into it if it's like banned or expert belt. But definitely banned would suck more because, you know, once he gets rid of the Reggie, then he could just spam like Psychic Fangs and it would do a shit ton of damage to all of my mons. Not to mention he outspeeds basically all of them except for, you know, Priority Comfy. So, that being said, I'm expecting him to bring G-Max Lax, Mew, Grimmsnarl, Togekiss, Bolton, and either Silvally, Spiritomb, or Seismitoad. Now, looking at team preview, he did brought one of the sets of mons that I predicted. I think since my team doesn't have like mons with haze, positioning will be very important this game. So without further ado, let's check out the game and see how it went. So I lead off with Mianxiao, he goes Bolton. Interesting, no nicknames like me. I definitely want to just chip this out with a fake out. So we go for a fake out here. I know 100% that we will fall to any of its moves. So we go ahead and just switch out to Reggie. So this was one of the things I talked about, like we're gonna be what do you call this? The Reggie's gonna be taking a lot of hits from his other mons most of the time, and we're gonna have a hard time taking out Bolton. But I think we have enough stuff that can work around it. So Kiss comes out, he goes for a T-Wave. So I get paralyzed, so not really a good start. You know, I'm having flashbacks from my game with James of, you know, 50% paralysis. But that's fine. We just go for a Toxic here. We actually get the Toad, which is amazing for us. We switch to Roselia here. Take an EQ, that's fine. Unfortunately, I don't have what do you call that move? I don't have Synthesis this week, so as much as Roselia could be a thorn on his side, like pun intended, that's not really going to be the case here. Not having Silvally Poison does make it so that these spikes are free in this game. He definitely watched my previous game and saw that these spikes did a shit ton of work, so he's definitely prepared for that. I switch out to Reggie as he goes for a Defog. And goes back to Toad. I go for a Heavy Slam there, not really doing much. We still don't know its set. It's not lefties and it's not like what do you call that? Helmet. I'm not really sure what this Reggie would be. It goes for an EQ there. I go for rocks. Get some health back. I go for a Protect, but we got paralyzed again. So I'm kind of getting screwed with the paralysis here. Definitely getting more than I should. I get the Protect this time. It gets chipped down a little more. We go for Roselia here just to stall out the Toxic. So, a decent advantage for us. We already have 5 versus 6, but Reggie can still wall the Kiss if it doesn't have like Flamethrower. And I think Roselia could be a decent sack at this point. He goes for the Air Slash, takes out the Roselia. I actually went for Sludge Bomb that turn, hoping that, you know, he goes for a Defog and we could do like a shit ton of damage to it and it's forced to switch out, having another one of his mons take a Sludge Bomb. If not, it's probably because, you know, a Sludge Bomb from Roselia is probably gonna 2-hit KO anyway. I bring in Cinderace here. Not really sure what I wanted to do at this point, but I thought I could go for a Max Steel, and you know, if he's not thinking straight, he doesn't go for a T-Wave. So we go for a Max Steel, does a shit ton of damage, so that's really good for us. He goes for a T-Wave here. So at this point, you know, he's playing really well. He's playing the game perfectly at this point. Now, the trouble with this was because of my last games in the mocks, I kind of removed aromatherapy from Comfey. So it probably was a bit premature of me to max Cinder at this stage of the game. But yeah, you know, I didn't really have much options there since it outspeed all of my mons, and because of the threat of being hacked with the Air Slash, Cinderace was like the best option I could think of at this moment. So we were kind of hoping we didn't get T-Wave, but at the back of our minds, it was a possibility. I kind of thought about bringing Lum, but none of my mons really were, or none of my mocks had Kiss packing T-Wave, so I kind of didn't. But that's fine, he goes for a Wish. Thankfully, we don't get paralyzed and we take it out. So I think I'm totally fine losing the max of Cinder for Kiss. Because, you know, even paralyzed, we could still outspeed the Snorlax. So I'm keeping that in mind. He sends out Mew here. This is the most obvious setup of my life, especially since he used Wish. So attacking here doesn't really make any sense. We decided to just switch out to our Comfey as he goes bulk up on Mew. Receives the Wish anyway. So we go for an Encore here, locking it to bulk up. This is where we had some speed EVs incorporated. I just thought, how greedy is this player gonna be? So we do put some, or lock him into Encore, and that's really gonna be rough for him. I don't know how confident he is at this point. If it was just a speed tie and we got the upper hand, because I'm sure if he was in front of a Comfey, if it was me, I would have bulked up a second time, because why not, right? And none of my mons could just OHKO the Mew at this point, or even maybe even 2-hit KO, especially after the defense boosts. So I would have rolled the dice there, but he does the smart play of switching out to Grimmsnarl as I go for a taunt. So this combo would have locked him into struggling, right? So Grimmsnarl without taunt, definitely less threatening. We go for a Draining Kiss here, do a shit ton of damage as he goes for a Spirit Break. Unfortunately, that lowers our special attack, so we're gonna fall short of KOing it the next time. But he switches out to Mew. Mew takes some chip, takes some, what do you call this? Some Draining Kiss damage. And it's also revealed that the Mew is not leftovers. It's actually, we're not really revealed to see what item it is for now. But having Mew here, I'm thinking it's probably just gonna attack. I go for a Calm Mind here just to, you know, get our attack up. And we're definitely gonna live the next attack after the heal. We don't really need Comfey at a high HP. We just needed to, get a Draining Kiss off. Because I think at this point, Bolton is in range of Draining Kiss after Rocks. So that's kind of what we needed for. We go ahead and switch out to Reggie here as he goes bulk up. Goes for a Drain Punch, does good damage here. Fortunately, we do land the Toxic, so that's going to be really annoying for him. And we get the Protect. So we're kind of getting better RNG with the Paralysis here. He goes for a Psychic Fang. Huge misplay in my opinion. There was no reason for him to go for a Psychic Fang. He kind of got greedy there. Because even if I guess he kind of read the Azu switch, but you know, I don't think that was the right play. I think you just go Draining Punch at this point and force me to make plays. We get paralyzed eventually, which kind of sucks, but that's fine. We could have had like momentum there. If we didn't get paralyzed. I think I went for a Heavy Slam there, and that would definitely kill the Mew. after toxic damage, I believe. Or maybe not. It is +1. But yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, actually, yeah, since he was only 15% of the. So we would have had Reggie in front of the 3 Mons, and then we can go from there. Goes for a Drain Punch, gets some HP, but he'll fall to the Toxic. So we're really in a good position now. He sends in Grimmsnarl as we go Mianchow. We go for a Fake Out, do good damage. Now at this point, this is probably one of the more important turns in the game. I think at this point, I should have just went for the kill here. As he goes for Reflect and Light Screen. Because I predicted him to go for a T-Wave there. But that was really smart of him not to do, because thinking at this point, T-Wave doesn't really help him, right? He's better off having screens, and if that's the case, I could have Mianchow in front of Snorlax, and even behind screens, we're still gonna do like 50%. So huge misplay on my part there. We could have just taken out like a good 50 to 57%, I think. So Lax being behind screens, Cinder does 26 with high jump kick, so not really good damage. As he goes for Curse, oh my god, this is very threatening. We did not prepare for Curse. Now, because I was kind of hoping he would have Belly Drum, because that's like what everyone brought against me, and that's definitely what we're more prepared for. Knowing that he'll probably Curse again, I go to Comfey here. The good thing about it is we are stalling out some turns of Reflect, so that's good. But seeing as what it appears to be, what do you call that, Light Clay Grim, then it's gonna be a ton of turns to waste here. So I go ahead and lock him into Curse with the Encore. So we're wasting more turns here. Actually, I forgot he was Light Clay, but when I saw that it still had 3 turns of Reflect, I'm like, oh shit, I could definitely lose this one to Snorlax. So he goes for a Curse again. I just went for a Draining Kiss, predicting that he would max at that point, and try to see what we can do afterwards. But yeah, I go for a Taunt here to prevent the last turn of Curse, and the Taunt ended. So at this point, I was having some confidence, thinking, what the hell is he doing? Why isn't he, maxing? And he kind of told me after the game that he kind of forgot about Encore locking him even during max. So he didn't remember that. I'm not sure if he knows, or he didn't realize it right away that he could attack normally if he maxes. So I Encore him again here, so he can't Curse, and because of that, he's gonna be forced to struggle. I forgot what he said. He said something along the lines of, what did he say? He said something like, I was trying to get struggle, right? Because he kinda knew already beforehand that Mew, during the Mew interaction, that I had Taunt and Encore. So he said something like he was trying to get struggle so that he could max and then attack using struggle. It kind of didn't really make sense to me how he explained it, or I might not be remembering how he explained it actually, or it just didn't make sense. So once he decided to switch out to Bolton, I was very confident we won this game. Bolton comes out, screens lose its effect, he goes T-Bolt. We're actually AV Cinderace here, so we can take those attacks no problem. Snorlax comes in. At this point, I thought about just going for high jump kick and thinking that, if he max, he's gonna live it and KO us, but that's fine. But I thought, I kind of felt a little greedy there and wanted the 4-0. So he actually reveals to be Kostap. I switch out to Azu. He's definitely gonna outspeed us, but the good thing is at this point it didn't really matter. I was kind of concerned that he would replenish the Kostap, but seeing this it didn't replenish, I was confident Superpower would take it out from that range. And that's gonna be GG. It's dashing. An amazing game with Johan. He could definitely have won that if he played like the Snorlax endgame. He didn't even need to play it perfectly. He just needed it to max at that point, and it had enough boosts wherein even if I tried to stall it with like Protect, like some of my mons had Protect, I'd most likely lose maybe 1-0. I could probably take out the Snorlax, but everything would be in range of the Boltund. So if you think of it from that perspective, you would have like a 1-0 loss into a 4-0 win. So I'm very thankful things worked out that way. It makes you think about the importance of mechanics in this game. Had he knew that ahead of time, we could have been in, real trouble there. But yeah, I got to talk to the dude after the game, and really cool dude. We're actually getting to know a lot of these players, and forming friendships and all that, which is really cool. I don't really have like my normal team that I build with are kind of really busy these days, so it's good to have fresh faces, in the community, and possibly teach them, learn from them, share each other's strategies and all that, because the game is really deep enough where it hasn't been fully figured out yet. Anything can still work, like that Kostap set. That was just that was fire. That was so fire. So props to Johan for that. And next week we'll be facing, I believe, Jesse. We don't really have a good matchup against Jesse as well, but in typical dashing fashion, we'll try to pull something out of our ass and get the W. So yeah, if you guys like the content, like, share, and subscribe. If you want to support your boy even more, links to Patreon down in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers!